I've decided to grow not only garlic, not only avocado, but some romaine lettuce. Look how well it's doing already.
Never complain when they trace my tracks. Yeah, safe to say I put gang on back. I made a way, my own lane, no cap now. How many niggas can say that? I'm one of them ones.
It is late in the afternoon, actually. It's 4:07 right now. I just actually had a 3 o'clock appointment with my therapist, and we had a slight conversation about forgiveness. She told me that I need to read this book by somebody. It's called Forgiveness. You Can Do It. She advised me to read the book because she can tell that I am holding on to anger and not giving forgiveness, not even for the other person, but for myself. And when she said that, I wanted to hang up on her. And, I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I don't even feel like it's a problem. For me, it's kind of like, it's not that I don't forgive. I don't forgive. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it. I don't forgive. I'm never going to talk to you again. It's just that, I have these attachment issues. Like, if you're a part of my life, I'm attached to you. I'll do anything for you. I will bend over backwards, bend forward, sideways. I will do anything to let you know and show you that you're a part of my life and I care. You have somebody who cares, who loves you, who will nurture for you, who will tend to your every need. You call, I'm there as quick as I can. But the minute you fuck me over or fuck up, and that's hard for me because I'm not good with goodbyes. I'm not. I don't like having people leave my life. I hate it with a passion. I hate it. But if you have to leave, I'm learning to be okay with it. But I didn't get to learn from a positive standpoint. I had to learn through trial, through like swinging me through the mud. I had to learn being dragged through the mud, family that left, friends that left, relationships. And it's like, I had to learn to just be like, fuck it, and I've gotten to the point where now that I'm so fuck it that my mom is like, oh, reach out to this person, see how they're doing. They were there for you. And it's almost like, yeah. And I did my fair share of being there for them, but I'm not gonna keep being there for them if it means. And I'm like, I'm not gonna keep being there for them if it's at my expense. I'm not gonna rack my brain trying to figure out, let me do this, let me do that, let me make sure they know that I'm gonna be there for them if they're not giving me that same, I'm gonna be there for you. You're just cut off. I'm just gonna stop talking to you. I've learned to just say fuck it. And now it's like, oh, well, now you need to learn forgiveness. And not that there's no resentment there. There's just nothing. I don't know if that's something that I need to forgive somebody for, but I will tell everybody the same thing. Relationships, friendships, family. I will tell you all the same thing. Get me while I care. Because when you push me to a point where I stop giving a fuck, you're gonna feel it. You're going to feel that change in me. You're going to feel that not give a fuck in me. And then you're gonna be like, oh. And I've gotten good with it. Just tell them, peace. I've gotten good with it. And for me, that's different. For me, that's new. And I don't know if that's leaning more on the toxic side or leaning more on the good for my peace. But I've learned to just and not care and be in my own personal things. I didn't know how to be by myself. And this is coming from somebody who's not an only child, but was almost raised as an only child because my brothers are 10 years older than me. And by the time I was really adapting as a personality, they were off in college in the military. I had to grow up by myself. It was just me and my mother. And it was typically just me because my mother had to be off at work. you know, working 2 jobs, trying to take care of me and a household. So when I finally learned to be by myself, I don't need nobody. I don't need none of you. I don't want none of you. But if you were part of my life, which actually kind of hurt me a little bit, because I don't know the guy, and I'm not going to put him out there, but I had this boy best friend that I met on this app, Monkey. I know y'all know it. He was my boy best friend, and it kind of transitioned into dating or a relationship or whatever. To me, it was just kind of dating, because he lives in the Bahamas. I'm in California. It's like, you know, it's just dating, you know. And what set me, like, there was nothing wrong with him. He was fine. There was, like, we were cool. Plus, we started off as best friends, so I liked his vibe. He had a OP vibe. But I think he was interfering. With my spiritual journey. Because I kind of just got turned off by him. Nothing personal, nothing he did. We were texting, and my mind just went, why am I texting him? And then from there on, that question, every time we talked, that question kept ringing like a loud bell in my head. Why am I talking to this person? Are they genuine? Do they really mean what they say? Are they supposed to be a part of this path I'm on? Can you see them in your future? What does their future look like? Are they really the person that they're telling me that they are? You know, questions about him and us kept ringing like loud bells in my ear. And the more that I questioned it, the more I was like, I'm pushing him away. And he peeped it and was like, what is going on with you? Like, why are you doing? But my problem was I didn't know how to explain to him that the feeling that I had for him in the beginning was every day disappearing, because I couldn't explain why it was disappearing. And for me, that was hard, because it was taking a toll on him, because I would just go days, weeks without texting him. And then when we did talk, he would ask me what's been going on, and I would be very subtle, very one-word answer, because again, me texting him, my mind bells would just be blaring through my ears, like, why are you stop talking to this person, stop, leave this person alone. Then this video came up on my TikTok that kind of confirmed it, which I know is kind of like, don't listen to TikTok, but it was too relatable to my situation. So the video was like, it was the spiritual guru, and she was pulling out cards, and she had some numbers plastered on the screen. And it was like 3 of the numbers out of like the 6 she had on there were numbers that I was seeing. And she goes, there's a person in your life that's not supposed to be there. They're interfering with your journey. Not just are they not supposed to be there, but they're blocking the person who is supposed to come in from coming in. She said that there's nothing wrong with the person in general. It's just that the spot that I'm giving them is supposed to be open for the other person who's really my person to come in. And it kind of like, I just kind of was like putting pieces together, and the deeper she went into explaining about why the person is not my person, like, you know, we're not connected on this playing field. And then that kind of was like my confirmation mentally, like, okay, I'm seeing this, I've been thinking this, it's gotta be some truth behind it. And I didn't tell him that because I didn't want to sound crazy, like, oh, you're listening to TikTok now? I didn't want to sound crazy, but I've been feeling like, yo, we're not meant to be together at all. We're not compatible, we're not meant to be. I think about, like, if we met in person, I would want him more as my friend than as some kind of relationship. We could be platonic, like just a cool friendship. But I think I dragged him through the mud, because And it was unintentional. It was just me trying to figure out what that feeling was and why it was there. When we started, I felt great. Like, I was like, okay, this is something new. Like, but I don't know. After weeks of not talking to him, and letting him know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, when I finally did tell him, it felt like a heavy load was off my shoulders. First of all, I feel more free. Like, I don't know, I feel more free. Because I would see him message my phone, I would look at it and be like, I'm not going to message. I don't even feel like it. I don't feel like talking to him. And that would go days on end. He would message again the next day, message again. And every time I would look at it and be like, I don't feel like talking to you. And that's not good for somebody that you're supposedly dating. And there was nothing wrong with him at all. So I don't know. But now we don't talk at all. And it's like I ruined a good friendship by having this date and then not feeling him at the end of it. Which was just, I don't know. It made me feel like a bad person. But now that I'm here, like in that moment, telling him all that, it made me feel like a bad person. But now that I'm here, I feel liberated. I feel free. I feel like I'm finally on the right track. Like he was actually holding me back from something. And now that I've cut that tie, I'm spreading my wings like an eagle and I'm just in the sky, enjoying those bits and pieces of life that I've never enjoyed before. I'm happy about it. But that all goes to say I am working on forgiveness. I need to forgive myself for how I treated him because, again, he didn't deserve the way that I went about it. I feel like there was a better way to go about it. I could have told him from jump, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions about a feeling that I was having. You know, I wanted to really work itself out. I wanted it to make itself known to me, but it never did. Not until I cut him off that I was like, yeah, we weren't meant to be together. Before, I was just questioning it. You know, you can't bring up something to somebody that you're just questioning because you need to know for sure. I want to know solidly, you know, this is what I'm feeling, and I don't know. So I want to be able to forgive myself, and I do want him to be able to forgive me, but I'm going to give him the space that he needs before I reach out and make sure that, you know, hey, all is well, all is good. I hope you forgive me for, like, you know, whatever. And he's understanding somewhat, but and then I want to forgive the people that have wronged me because I have not forgave anybody. I've really been focused on trying to keep myself up. So that starts with a gallon of water. And I know you're like, bitch, why is your water green? Chlorophyll. I put a little chlorophyll in my water. And I know you're like, you shouldn't drink a gallon of chlorophyll. I actually didn't put a lot of drops. This is actually just 6 drops. My bottle says you're supposed to have 15 drops, like of 2 to 3 bottles. That seems excessive. So this is just 6 drops in a nice gallon of iced tea. Don't play me for being ghetto. I'm ghetto. I could spend the money to go get a water gallon off Amazon, but why when we just have one right here? Utilize. So, and I've been walking every day. This is technically going to be day 4, so technically not every day, but it's a start. I know I'm happy of this big step I've just taken. I do brisk walking for a very long time. Like I try to do an hour, maybe 2 hours of just walking, listening to my music, bumping and going and grinding. You can't see my hips, but I was hitting it. I cracked myself up. So this is actually like journal entry number 4. This is going to be my self-reflection day. Just me talking about, you know, my thoughts, my experiences, how I'm feeling, what's right now, especially after therapy. I feel really good. I'm excited for my walk. I don't want to go, but I want to push myself to go. I've been growing my plants, which I gotta show you my lettuce. My lettuce is actually on day 2 because I planted it on the 11th. Today is the 13th, and it's actually have little sprouts on it, and I'm so excited because all of the things that I've grown so far that's like I haven't even planted yet all have sprouts and roots, and I'm so excited to put them outside in my garden because it makes me feel like I'm growing that means I'm growing too. Just to give you guys a little insight, oh my gosh, there's my lettuce. This one hasn't grown yet as much as this one, which is crazy because I did this one like a day after I did this one. This one I planted first. So that's crazy that, you know, it's only got little sproutling. And this one is fully like, I'm growing some lettuce. And then this one, I don't know if this one's gonna grow or not. But let's hope so, because it's really green and it didn't have very big like stems like these two did. So, but this one is my baby right now. And then all of my garlics, I planted them on the 5th, and you can see how well they're doing. I have a little plate on them to keep the stems or the roots in the water, because without it, the roots weren't really in the water. Some were, some weren't. So like some of them have like really long roots and then really short roots. It's kind of like the roots are like all over the place. So I put the plate on top to keep the roots underneath the water, so that way all the roots can be like caught up, and it's not like one really long root and the rest of them are short, because then I feel like it makes it hard to plant, because then you have to dig deeper, whereas all the other roots are not deep. And then I have my avocado, but these are just 2 out of like the 6 I have in my cabinets right here. All of them that I have in my cabinets behind me have grown a little root, but they haven't rooted or grown a stem for me to plant them yet. So I'm giving them time. Look at my lettuce. Look at my lettuce. That one's sprouting a little better. This one, I don't know. This one I don't even know about, but we're gonna see. But these two. So today is June 14th, and they said we're supposed to be in the strawberry moon retrograde, which we haven't had in 3 years, since 2019. This retrograde is in Sagittarius, and I want to catch it. So this retrograde, they say, is about self-reflection and about release. So I'm hoping that I'll really be able, within meditation, I'll really be able to delve into the parts of me that I'm looking to release, and the wounds that I'm really that have been inflicted on me, I'm really looking to forgive. Forgiveness starts with self. I really want to forgive myself and then start forgiving others. So this will be the first and not the last time I am documenting a full moon and a self-reflection underneath that full moon during meditation. I feel like it's really needed. I feel like it'll bring me a lot of clarity and move me forward in my life, which I'm really looking to do, to move forward, find my calling, find my passion, find my talent. I feel like I already know it, but every time I take a step towards it, it doesn't feel like that's truly like what it's supposed to be for me. So I don't know. I can only hope and see. So I have my journal here. And I'm going to write down everything that I want to release during this strawberry moon reflection. And once I am aligned with This is what I deal with. It is 9:42. I think I'm going to cut on my light because I am not very seen at night. Perks of being dark skinned. I've already did my journaling to release. Now I think with every release you have to consume. You know, I feel like with every release, you have to be willing to take in some new parts too. You can't release everything without taking something in. So it's almost like a fair trade. The things that I'm releasing, I want to replace with something positive. Okay, so I brought out my ring light. Hopefully that looks a little better. So I just finished my releases. Now that I have everything that I'm looking to release written down, I do have my lighter. I'm going to burn the page. The moon is not yet where I want it to be. It's still blocked behind the trees. I'm going to wait until it's a little higher up, but you can see it right about there. And that's my little alley cat. Her name is Simba. I've been calling her Phoenix because she's just an alley cat. This house right here takes care of, and that house right there takes care of, and then she comes over here, and I gave her a little canned food. You can see it right there. So it's crazy that she decided to come sit with me today. It's been like 2 months since I've seen her. Truly, I thought when I was first seeing her, and I was sitting out talking to the moon, she would come and just chill with me, sit on the fence like she is now. Then I stopped seeing her around the time, if I'm being honest, I stopped coming out to talk to the moon. And I thought the neighbors took her in. Like, I thought they stopped letting her be outside because they're scared of my dog. And I thought they took her in because they're scared of my dog, like, chomping their cat up. He won't do it. He loves cats. He hates other dogs, but he loves cats. After I burn my page, when the moon rises a little bit, I am going to stay out here a little longer, meditate, and write down my strawberry moon manifestations. Because like I said, every release, I feel like you have to replace that release with something nourishing, if that makes sense. So I am going to release and manifest it. Really take the time to say that I am manifesting my dream life, which I'm already living, but there's more steps I can take. I think I need to go charge my ring light. As you can tell, it's not as bright as it was from that first video, and I was like, why does it seem dim? It's actually because it's dimming out. So and the moon is rising. I'm so excited. I don't know, I love the moon. I feel so connected to the moon. I love the moon. Okay, so the moon isn't fully where I wanted it to be for this, but I'm kind of cold out here. But there's my beautiful moon. There's a part of me that wants closure about something. I'm not sure if me seeking closure for this thing is the right move. Yet a part of me is debating to get closure. I don't want to say what that thing is because I promise not to put anybody out there, but if you know, you know. Like, if you can feel my energy and feel what I'm needing closure on, then you'll understand. But I'm thinking of sending that message and asking, was any of it real? Was any of it real? Was it just something that happened and we didn't quite expect it to happen together? I don't want my feelings hurt though. This probably isn't gonna go as planned, but I'm gonna try to get you guys to see. I'm gonna read it first as I'm burning it. So, June 14th, 2022, Strawberry Moon release. I release fear of judgment, being criticized. I release lack of motivation and laziness. I release anxiety and stress. I release the feeling of being trapped and incomplete. I release making excuses. I release the idea of perfection. I release the idea that I'm not good enough. I release the unwanted and unneeded body weight. I release self-doubt, self-sabotage, and self-hatred. After I burn my page when the moon rises a little bit, I am going to stay out here a little longer, meditate, and write down my strawberry moon manifestations. Because like I said, every release, I feel like you have to replace that release with something nourishing, if that makes sense. So I'm going to release and manifest it. Really take the time to say that I am manifesting my dream life, which I'm already living, but there's more steps I can take. And last but not least, I release any and all blockages of any of my chakras that keep me from my higher self and that keep me in a path that was not intended for me. I release. I release any bad habits as well. Any and all bad habits that keep me from my higher self. Now I am going to take a second to meditate in the moonlight and start to journal down my manifestations and the person that I want to be from today on the next 5, 10, 15, however many years. Like I said, this is one step of many, and this is one step into something great and something big. I won't give up. Somebody said, I'll find the quote. I'll go back and find the quote. I'm gonna do it one more time, but towards the moon. Like, there's the moon right there. That little right there is the moon. So, to you, moon, my last piece of release. Yay. I'm proud of myself. This is one step into something great. It's like taking that small step into something bigger. I'm excited. I did it. It took a second. That's the only piece that's left. It took like 3 tries. You can still see, like, that's crazy. You can still see the words right there, like a little bit. You can see where it says I release. Oh, what a beautiful morning it is. Taking my garlics out. I see the other ones in the ground that I planted are doing pretty good. The stems are still growing. It hasn't died, which is a good sign and a sign I wanted to see. Excuse my backyard, all the grass is dead. Then on top of my garlics, I got my lettuce looking good. And I hope this one kind of sprouts like this one. And then this one is trying. I see it right here. So I'm proud. It's been a very long time since I've seen one of these. And for a long time, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to figure out a way to grow dandelions because I haven't seen them in a long time and everybody calls them weeds. And I've been working in my backyard, clearing out, you know, the weeds and trying to pull up all this dead grass so that I can turn it into a garden. Yesterday this wasn't here and now it is. Oh my gosh. I'm going to pull it up with a shovel so that way I can get the root. And yeah, you can eat the leaves, make a good salad. Ooh, that's exciting. I tried my best to get it without breaking or damaging any of the root. So I'm hoping that I got it all out of the hole. I just cut it out like within a circle and then pulled. I can see some of the roots in there, like right there. But it's okay. I think this big stem is what's really important. I'm gonna do my research a little more. But you can use these green leaves around it in like a salad. And then the stem, you can caramelize it and it's good for your heart.